Hi everyone. Today what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to set up for several restorative poses. I had wanted to do a restorative sequence earlier, but a lot of us don't have enough props at home to do this. So now that we've sold off most of our props here at the studio, I think a lot of you have things to practice with: blankets, bolsters, etc. So in the interest of time, I'm not going to stay in the poses for the 5 to 10 minutes that we recommend for these poses, but instead I'm just going to show you how to set up for them, and then what you might want to do is watch the video through, pick out a few of the poses that you like, and then practice those. Okay, you don't have to do the entire sequence. If you want to, you certainly can, but again, you want to stay in each of the poses for maybe at the minimum 3 minutes, but upwards of 5 to 10 minutes to fully get the effect of the restorative pose itself. Okay, so first pose we're going to do is actually Shavasana. It's a relaxation, and you want to choose something that is most comfortable for you. I'm going to choose a chair. Okay, so any chair will work. It does not have to be a fancy yoga chair, but what you'll want to have perhaps is just something for underneath the head and neck, and you want to bring a chair in for underneath the legs. You'd like the chair to hit you in the back of the knee so that the entire shin is supported. Make sure there's no tension through the lower part of the back. And for this pose, you don't want to be able to touch anything, so move things out of your way. And then let the legs be heavy, chest open, and just let the body relax downward. And just start to tune into your breathing to help quiet the mind. When you're ready to come out, you can just bend the legs, maybe pull the knees in towards the chest if that feels good. Roll to the side. Use the arms to help lift your body back up. Again, any kind of Shavasana works. A bolster underneath the knees if you prefer, or a rolled blanket if you like. Okay, the next pose I'm going to show you is Supta Baddha Konasana. It's a reclined Cobblers Pose. So you'll want to have a bolster lengthwise, or if you don't have a bolster, you can always fold up 2 blankets as such to make a bolster shaped object to lie on. Okay, so that would be in place of the bolster. But for here, I'm going to go ahead and use the bolster. I've got a blanket for underneath my head and neck. I'll have an extra blanket here for underneath my thigh. Okay, so I'm going to show you here. I'm going to lie down. I'm going to put that bolster right at the back end of the sacral area, and I'm going to go ahead and lie down. And I want to arrange that blanket for underneath my head and neck so it just hits the top of my shoulder. Some of you are going to be totally comfortable with the bolster right into the small of the back. I am not one of those people. So if this is not comfortable for you, what you're going to do is lift the hips and slide the buttocks towards the heels. Here I go. And then now I'm much more comfortable through the lower part of the back. So then the legs can come down into Baddha Konasana, that Cobbler's Pose. If indeed my thighs are up high up off the floor, you'll want to pad with something. Blocks work, or a blanket right at the root of the thigh would also work as well. You don't want to feel a lot of stretch on the inner thigh. Okay, but just so that you can see a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and let my thighs release down, and they touch the floor, so I actually don't need that padding. But if yours are up off the floor as such, please put something there. Then shoulders are back and under, chest is open, and I can relax here. If indeed you don't have more props to put underneath your thighs, you can certainly do a cross-leg position instead. That totally works if that's more comfortable for your body. Okay, or if neither one of those is comfortable, you could just go with legs straight out like Dandasana and then let them relax. Okay, but the idea again here is that we're opening up through the chest and supporting the spine. You can feel lots of space coming to the chest, into the abdomen, all the way down to the pelvis with this leg position. So feel that the back of the body is supported so that the front of the body can open easily. Letting the body release down with every exhalation. Again, you can stay 5 to 10 minutes. When I'm ready to come out, I'm going to use the hands underneath the legs to help the legs back up. I'm going to roll to the side and use the arms to help lift my body back up. Next pose is going to be downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, with head support. As an alternative, if dog pose is not one of your favorites, if you don't find it comfortable, you can certainly do puppy pose with head support instead in its place. But the idea is to lengthen the spine and bring the head down below the heart. Okay, so I'll show you here. I've got a bolster already prepared. You're going to be wanting to rest kind of the hairline area onto the bolster. If this is not tall enough, I've got more support ready. I can always bring in another blanket on top to make it higher, whatever kind of height that I'm going to need. Okay, so I've got kind of like a landing strip, if you will, so I don't have to guess exactly where my head's going to be. But the hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart, arms do external rotation, legs do internal rotation. As I push the hips up and back, the head comes down to rest lightly. Arms and legs stay active, but the head rests. The mind gets to take a rest. Do not bend the elbows to reach the height. Instead, build the height up higher. In this pose, you can stay as long as you like, maybe 1 to 3 minutes. Anytime that you need to come down and rest, you can. And then you'll just rest with the forehead on the bolster. Again, an alternative would be this puppy pose, which I'm about to show. So I'm going to come down, keeping the toes curled under. I'm going to push back here and still stretch the arms forward. And again, here I'm just going to rest my forehead down on the edge of the bolster. And you can certainly move back and forth between the dog pose and the puppy pose too. Okay. Next pose that we're going to do is a child's pose supported on a bolster or blankets. Okay, so I'm down on the floor. I'm going to take the knees a little bit wider apart. Big toes can stay together. If I don't sit comfortably down onto the heels, I can use a blanket to rest on in between. Okay, but then I'm going to pull the bolster in closer to me because I want to be able to rest the whole front of the body down onto the bolster itself. So as I pull the bolster in, I can feel my tummy hit down and then I can rest. Now I can tell here that my buttocks raised up a bit, so I'd actually like to have a little bit more height. So I can use one of those folded blankets, and that's a better height for my body here. Right? So I'm pulling the bolster in close. I'm not holding myself up with my arms. The arms are just at rest. Hips stay heavy. And the head can turn from side to side as you need it. Some people can look straight down. I can't breathe that way. So it is up to you. But you want to feel that the front of your body is supported so that the back of the body can rest and open. And you'll feel as you breathe here, because the front is blocked, you'll be breathing mostly into the back of your body. So you can breathe down into the lower part of the back, if that's a tight spot for you. For some of us, it's more up in the upper part of the back, around the shoulder blade area. You'll want to breathe into that. But you can feel very heavy in this pose. Again, build up the height as high as you need it to make it comfortable for your body. This pose you can stay in anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes as you're comfortable. Again, feeling free to change the direction of the head and neck so you don't get a kink in your neck. When you feel ready to come out, you'll use the hands underneath the shoulders. Use your arm strength to lift the body back up. Now from here, we're going to move right into a twist on that bolster as well. I'm probably going to use the same amount of height as I had for that child's pose, or you can make it higher or lower as you need to. But what we'll do is we'll sit with one hip towards the end of that bolster, legs in a comfortable position. Top foot can be inside the arch of the bottom foot as such, kind of a Bharadvajasana type leg, or it can be wider, okay, depending on ankle and knee comfort. Be in a position that works well for you. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to twist. This is a supported twist. I'm going to start to turn and twist my body towards the bolster itself, making sure it's right up against the hip. I want to take my time. I want to think about lengthening the spine outward and turning the body. So lengthening and twisting all the way down. For a full spinal twist, I would go ahead and turn my head away from my legs. But if that's not comfortable for the neck, I can allow my head to have the same direction as the knees. Again, like in child's pose, you don't want to feel like you're holding yourself up with the arms, but instead the whole body gets to be supported and heavy onto the bolster. You can stay here for anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. Again, letting the body be heavy. You'll be breathing into the top side lung as the bottom lung is more compressed. When I want to come out, hands will move underneath the shoulders. I'll use the arm strength to come back up, and I'll want to untwist the body. To do the second side, I want to take a moment just to sit more symmetrical. I can feel that twist in the body, so we'll do the second side. So I'm just going to turn around, running the hip right at the end of that bolster. Again, foot position, top foot could be inside the bottom arch, or again, wider stance as is comfortable for you. Again, I'm going to take my time to start to turn, lengthening my body forward out over the bolster. Every time I inch forward, I want to think about twisting the spine a little bit further. Again, as I come all the way down, head turned away from the knees is the full spinal twist. If this is not comfortable for the head and neck, turn the head towards the same direction as the knees. Again, not holding myself up with the arms, letting the body be very heavy down into the bolster. Breathing again to the top side lung. And with the exhalations, allowing the body to be heavy. When I'm ready to come up, again, I'll use the hands right underneath the shoulders, pushing down to the floor to lift the body up, untwisting the body. And again, taking that time to sit symmetrically again to feel the body here. Okay, next we're going to do a seated forward bend that's supported. A lot is going to depend on your hip or hamstring flexibility as to which pose you're going to want to choose, but you want to choose something that maybe gives you some stretch but also is still comfortable so that you can stay. I'm going to show you here a cross-leg position. I might sit on a little bit of height to make it more comfortable, but then I want to bring myself forward and rest my body down onto the prop. So here I'm going to go ahead and use this bolster and blanket together, and I'm just going to lean forward and rest down. Now, I could rest my forehead down on my forearms, but if that's not comfortable, you can certainly turn your head to the side as well. So whatever's more comfortable, but you want to feel here that the hips are down, the back is round, and you get to rest. Now, if this feels like it's too low for your body, then use a higher height. So again, I could sit on a little bit of height if I like, and I could again come forward onto the chair. Forehead is what I want to rest, so I'm resting my forehead because the chair is kind of hard. I'm using my forearms again. And the back, allow it to round. Once you get into position, let it be softer. And you can stay for anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. Now, another option, if the hips are tight, sitting cross-legged is not a comfortable position for you, then any of the straight leg positions would work as well. Maybe it's Paschimottanasana, coming forward, resting the forehead again, Or you can choose Upavista Konasana, the wide angle as well. Same thing, legs are active, thighs are down, coming forward. Once I rest my head down, I'm going to allow the back to be rounded. So that's one option. Down onto lower height, like I did with the cross legs, may work as well. You can see I'm pulling this in close to my body because I want to rest the whole front of my body down. Again, maybe turning the head to the side. If I rest my forehead down on my forearms, I can usually breathe a little bit easier. Legs will stay active, but the back is going to be round. And again, you can stay for anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. Again, you don't have to do all of these. Just pick one, a forward bend that has some support that feels comfortable to you. Now that we stretch the back of the body, we also want to stretch the front of the body again. So we're going to do a restorative version of Setu Bandha or bridge pose. You're going to need some props, bolster, and if in a perfect world I had 2 bolsters end to end, terrific. Most of us don't have 2 bolsters at home, so I'm going to create my second bolster with the blanket. So from this size blanket, I'm just folding in half again. Both of those blankets together make almost the same height as a bolster. So I've got like 2 bolsters end to end. And then I'm going to have a seat. And I'm going to lie down on the bolster. Bridge pose, as you know, the head is on the floor and the shoulders as well. So right now, neither one is touching. So to get to the proper position, I'm going to do a little pelvic tilt and then start to slide my body. I'm just going to hold on the bolster so it doesn't move. But I want to keep a little bit of a pelvic tilt. Now my head's touching, but I need the shoulders to touch. I'm going to keep this pelvic tilt as I slide down. As I get closer, I want to go a little more slowly till the shoulders just touch the floor. Then I can put the legs up on my quote-unquote second bolster or those blankets. And I've got nice openness across the top part of my chest. And the body can relax. If the legs feel like they're going to fall off the bolster, you can tie a belt around them to keep them together. But you'll feel lots of openness through the top part of the body, through the chest, through the rib cage, and across the abdomen as well. So let the back of the body be supported so the front of the body can open again. Again, you can stay in this pose anywhere from maybe 3 to 7 minutes. Anytime you want to come out, you can bend your legs. You're going to keep sliding in the direction of the head or move the bolster out is another way to come out. Let's inhale. Take the arms up. Exhaling, hands down to the heart. Namaste. The goodness in me bows to the goodness in you.